Welcome to Animated World Channel.
The Magical School Bus. Once upon a time, in a colourful little town named Brightville, summer was coming to an end. The days had been filled with sunshine, swimming, and ice cream, but now the leaves on the trees were starting to turn golden, and the air was just a bit cooler. It was almost time for school to start again. In a cosy house at the edge of town lived a brother and sister, Max and Mia. Max was 8 years old, full of energy and excitement, while Mia was 6, curious and always ready for an adventure. They loved summer, but they were also a little nervous about going back to school. One evening, as they were getting ready for bed, their mum said with a twinkle in her eye,
"Tomorrow morning, you'll be riding a very special bus to school. It's not like any other bus you've ever seen before."
Max and Mia were intrigued.
"What's so special about this bus, Mum?"
Max asked.
"You'll see,"
she replied with a mysterious smile. The next morning, Max and Mia stood at the bus stop with their backpacks, eagerly waiting. Suddenly, they heard a soft humming sound, and around the corner came the most amazing bus they had ever seen. It was bright blue, with rainbow-coloured wheels and shiny, star-shaped lights along the sides. The bus driver was a cheerful little elf named Mr. Sparkles, who had a long, curly beard and a hat that changed colours every few seconds.
"Welcome aboard the magical school bus.
Mr. Sparkles announced as the doors swung open.
Today, we're going on an adventure before school starts."
And Max and Mia climbed aboard, their eyes wide with wonder. The inside of the bus was even more incredible. The seats were made of fluffy clouds, and there were twinkling lights hanging from the ceiling like stars in the night sky. There were other children on the bus too, all looking just as amazed as Max and Mia.
"Where are we going?"
Mia asked, her voice full of excitement.
"You'll see, my dear. Just hold on tight."
With a wave of his hand, the bus lifted off the ground and flew into the sky. The children gasped as they looked out the windows and saw the town of Brightville shrinking below them. The bus soared over forests, lakes, and mountains until it reached a place that looked like a giant playground in the clouds.
"Welcome to the land of learning.
Mr. Sparkles announced as the bus gently landed.
Here, you'll discover that going back to school is the start of a wonderful new adventure."
The children stepped off the bus and found themselves in a magical world filled with amazing things to see and do. There was a giant library tree with books that flew around like birds, a math maze where the walls changed with each correct answer, and a science pond where they could mix potions to create rainbow bubbles. Max and Mia raced from one activity to the next, laughing and learning along the way. They played with alphabet puzzles that glowed when they spelled words, solved riddles with talking animals, and even met a wise old owl who taught them the secrets of reading maps and discovering new places. As they explored, Max and Mia realized that school wasn't just about sitting in a classroom. It was about discovering new things, asking questions and finding answers. They could be explorers, inventors, and even heroes in their own stories. After what felt like hours of fun, Mr. Sparkles called them back to the bus.
"It's time to head to school,"
he said with a smile. As the bus flew back to Brightville, Max and Mia talked excitedly about all the things they were going to do and learn when school started. They weren't nervous anymore, they were ready for the adventure. When the bus landed at their school, Mr. Sparkles waved goodbye, he said with a twinkle in his eye.
"And remember, the magic of learning is always with you."
Max and Mia walked into school hand in hand, their hearts full of excitement for the new school year. They knew that, with a little imagination and a lot of curiosity, school would be an adventure they'd never forget. And from that day on, every time they saw the school bus, they couldn't help but smile, knowing that they were about to embark on another magical day of learning.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more videos.